Alright, so today I wanted to start off with a little DayZ how-to video for those of you who've never played the game or got it and don't quite know how to play yet. I wanted to show a little video about how I play, how I start out the game, and how I prepare myself to leave these zones, these starting zones that you start in, like right here. Right here I started in a town called Electro, which if you're not sure of all the locations on the map yet, you can look in the bottom right corner of your screen whenever you spawn, and it will say where you are. And if you don't have a map, you can always open one up in Google. I do that fairly often, actually. But yeah, I heard some gunshots over there, so I just kind of wanted to stand back. I don't have it. Obviously, I have just the starting basics right now. I've got a flashlight, painkillers, and a bandage, I think. So the last thing I want is somebody shooting their AK-74 off at me. There's a pretty common misconception about this game. People tend to think as soon as they spawn that what they want to do is they want to go find a gun. And while, yeah, that might be the most exciting thing, that's honestly the last thing that I'm looking for right now. I've got kind of like an inventory in my head of things that I'm always looking for. And right now, a gun isn't one of them. When you get a weapon, essentially what it does is it puts a big target on your back. There's already a pretty big one because there are people out there in the game that'll kill you even though you don't have anything, and they know you don't have anything. Whenever I see somebody with an axe or no weapons, I don't even really bother with them. But if I see somebody has a weapon, I'm gonna keep my eye on them. If I think they're the kind of person that might kill me, then I'm gonna shoot them. I don't care, because everybody in this game is banded. If you play the game to be the good Samaritan everywhere you go, you're gonna have a bad time. And if you keep playing the game, you're gonna become the bandit because you're gonna get pissed off. But anyway, once you pick up a weapon, you're much more likely to get shot. And since I'm in these really high population cities, like I'm in Electro, and I'm gonna try to work my way over to Cherno. I'm gonna be running into lots of people along the way, so I want to go by unnoticed. So right here I do find an axe. It's a good thing to have simply because you can put it back in your tool belt and use it to harvest wood. That way you can start a fire and cook some meat if you need to. Make sure it works. Make sure you reload your hatchet. Never go into combat without reloading your hatchet. The main thing I'm looking for when I first spawn is food, because I'm gonna kite this zombie in here because it's too easy to break your legs, and I don't want to waste any bandages right now. I'm just gonna kite him in the back room and run out the front doors. That way I don't have to worry about him. But you're kind of on a timer as soon as you spawn. You need to find, I think it's roughly 20 minutes to find food and drink. And while drink's pretty easy to come by, food is not so much. The easiest way to get canned food, I find, is from killing zombies. Which, again, it's so easy to break your leg. I don't really like doing it unless I have to, especially with the hatchet. So maybe I'll get lucky and find some in an apartment or somewhere. If I start to get dark red, my tool, or not, my health, this fork and knife or whatever that is on the bottom right of my screen, I'll go kill some zombies with my axe. And, in case you're not sure of what all the things are, on the bottom right you got your food. It shows whether or not you have to eat. I'm watching this in Vegas, so it's really small. I think it's a knife and fork. Above that you have the teardrop, which is your blood. It'll start to get darker the more blood you lose, and if you're bleeding it'll flash. The canteen looking thing is your canteen. Same as food, it'll get dark once you need to start drinking, and once you really need to drink, it'll flash. And the thermostat, or whatever that is, above that is something to do with the weather. I think you can catch a cold in this game. I think that must be how this guy died right here. This guy wasn't prepared, and that's why he's dead, so don't be this guy. But yeah, and then up a little bit more, you see an eye and an ear, and those tell you how visible and how much noise you're currently making. And those are really good things to keep an eye on, because the noises that you hear your character making when he's walking, even though one might be louder than another to you in your headphones, it's not always the case when it comes to the zombies. So you got to really pay attention to the ear especially, and the eye. But the ear is the most important thing. And actually, the debug monitor shows your basic stats, how much blood exactly you have. Your blood is your health. Full is 12,000 blood. Anything above 8,000, and I'd say you're pretty good. Once you get below 8,000, your screen starts to get a little bit white, and you're much more prone to passing out, I believe, if you get hit by a zombie. So I like to try to stay above 8,000 if I can. Another reason I'm always looking for food. Food's such an important thing, especially if you're playing by yourself. There are blood bags which restore your blood completely, but the thing about them is you have to be with somebody else to do that. You need 2 people to do a blood transfusion, and unless you're playing with somebody that you know and trust to give you one, you're gonna have to eat your way back to full health, which is why the cooked meat, which is why I'm always looking for a matchbook, the firewood, which I find right here, and a hunting knife, which I think I find somewhere later in this video. Those are all the necessities, and obviously something to kill some of the livestock with to make your own cooked meat. And the good thing about the cooked meat is it gives you 800 blood back as opposed to 200, which is what a canned food gives you back. So essentially, if you have 15 cooked meats, if you are really low on health, you can eat yourself back up to a pretty safe amount of blood. This is another reason right here why I don't care too much for fighting zombies with just my axe, because they like to fuck around on me and start punching me through walls. I couldn't quite figure out what was going on here, but I should have known, just being DayZ, that they were going to walk through the wall. So yeah, you gotta watch out for that kind of stuff. If you're in an open room like I am, don't sit over by the wall. Head towards the middle of the room. That was a bad place to stand, knowing that there were zombies running over to me. These are really good buildings to check out. You're very likely to find not the greatest weapons here, but there's always going to be something like a crossbow, which some people really like. The crossbow is really hit or miss with some people. I hate the crossbow. I think if there's more than 2 zombies, you're going to have a hard time killing anything with it. But nonetheless, I would take it if I didn't have any weapon at all. I find a lot of Winchester shotguns in here, which are actually really good. The 15-round Winchester, and double barrel shotguns, which aren't my favorite. Also in the Enfield, there's a really fancy Enfield one that has a infrared and a night vision scope on it. You're not gonna find that here. You get this shitty World War II Enfield, which is really loud. So if you aggro one zombie and you're in the middle of a city like Cherno, just run. Don't bother firing your Enfield, because you're gonna aggro the entire city. I've literally aggroed probably 50 zombies before firing that weapon in Cherno, and I died. So don't do that. Since this guy was just kind of sitting there being a tard, I thought I'd kill him and get some more food. So right now, I think I'm pretty much set on food. Again, depending on how you play and who you play with, the things that you need to pick up might differ. Like, I'm heading over to Cherno to go to the hospital, and I spawned in Electro, and if you don't know the map, when you're in Electro, you can run with the ocean on your left for probably about 10 minutes, and you'll eventually run into Cherno. It's looking at the sun and looking at what side the ocean is on compared to where you're running is a really good way to figure out where you're going. But yeah, if you're in Electro, run with the ocean on your left to get to Cherno, and there's a hospital there. There's actually 2 hospitals there. You can see the one right there. That's the back of it. and you can break the glass out if you'd like. I'm not too fond of that because it's really loud. Even with the axe, you can hear the glass breaking from pretty far away. So I like to just kind of hope that there's a box up on the roof or behind the building, which there sometimes is. Um, a morphine, like I said, it's really easy to break your leg in the game. So I'm always looking for a morphine because you're gonna break your leg in the stupidest way imaginable. I walked into like an outhouse. It was and the door was closed, and I opened the door and there was loot inside. There were just like a couple of drinks. And mind you, I had an AK Cobra, an Uzi, or the not an Uzi, it's called a PDW pistol, and I had some good items. And I go look down to pick up these items on the ground, and instead of clicking gear, I clicked close door, and the door actually slammed shut, broke my legs, took off about 5,000 blood. There's a lot of glitches is what I'm trying to say. So you're gonna break your legs, and it's gonna be retarded how it happens. So make sure you don't go anywhere without a morphine. I just found one right here, and I picked up a blood bag. And right now, I'm ready to get the hell out of the city, because I feel like I had already been there way longer than I planned. I felt greedy, so I ended up checking out this apartment that's right next to the hospital here, and I'm hoping to find a map or a compass. But really, I know my way north, at least north-ish, so I can go out and start looking for the deer stands, which deer stands and helicopters, which helicopters spawn the best loot in the game, and the deer stands they spawn some pretty decent stuff. Actually, I recorded this video a couple days ago, and I'm just kind of doing some commentary on it right now for those of you who are interested in the game, or bought it and kind of in their Left 4 Dead mentality, or looking for an auto shotgun to go mow down 100 zombies. You know, you got to get out of that mentality, because if you try to play it that way, you're gonna have a really bad time. But yeah, after I filmed this, I found a deer stand, and it actually had both an AK-47, or an AKM as it is in this game, and an AK-74. Now I wound up taking the AK-74 because I think that it's a lot easier to find ammo for it, and it's a lot quieter. It doesn't have the effective range as the AKM, but within 200 or 300 meters, it's still a very accurate rifle. And there are very few weapons actually that I would take over the AK-74. Mine wasn't the Cobra. There's a Cobra which has a red dot sight, or an ACOG. I'm not sure what exactly the difference is, or what it's properly called, but the AK Cobra has the red dot thing. And there's also what's called like an AKSU, which is like a shortened version of it, which is terribly inaccurate. I would not recommend picking that up unless you have no weapon at all. So I hope that you guys enjoyed the video. I hope that you guys learned something, and I hope that you guys, if you haven't played the game yet and are thinking about buying it, I wouldn't even wait for the Steam sale to start. This game is totally worth the 30 bucks. Alright, and thanks for watching.